This is the front grille of my Toyota Rav4 Adventure. The only other trim that shares this sort of grille style is the TRD. The other grills sort of come down over here, the LE, XLE, Prime, and Limited. So depending on the type of grill you have and the lights, your installation process is going to be very different. If my head looks weird, it's because I'm on a wide angle lens, so my forehead might be like wide, just ignore it. So again, depending on the grill style you have, how you install it will be very different. There is no custom grill light kit for the Rav4, so a lot of people are just making their own modifications to get it to fit. My plan is to insert them over here just to see how it looks, but I think I want to go up over here, cut this out 1, 2, 3, 4 to kind of give it an aggressive look with having the lights up over here. Of course, when I do cut this out, I am making a commitment, because once you cut a hole open, the only way to close it is to buy a new grill. I have seen some where they install it over here. I think that also looks nice, but my plan is to go up over here. So we'll see how that looks. These are the Raptor lights that I'm going to install on the Rav4. They call them Raptor lights because they were originally came out for the Ford vehicles, for the Ford Raptor, which is like their upper end F-150. There is not a light kit specifically made for the 5th generation Rav4 as far as I know, and this is September 2020. But this kit, which I bought several months ago, should work. You just need to create your own modification to attach it to the grill. There are 4 lights. They are rectangle shaped with 4 LEDs inside. I like the rectangle shape because it kind of looks more aggressive and unique versus these the rounder ones that kind of have just a single LED. They don't look that aggressive in my opinion. This is a complete wiring kit, so it has everything you need. You just need to attach it to your grill and then plug it into a switch, or directly to your battery if you want to go that way. I don't recommend it. You have your positive and negative running down this wire over here, and then it splits into 4, which are these 3 plus this guy. There is a seal here to kind of make it waterproof. And the tips over here, I don't know if there looks like there's some gummy seal there too, so maybe it's okay. What I'm going to first do is connect it to a 12 volt source just to make sure they work. And then we'll go ahead to the Rav4 and take it apart and see how we can best install this. I actually have a 12 volt source here. This is a custom battery that I built. It looks more scary than that, but trust me, it is just a battery made with 18650 cells that they have in the Teslas. So we'll connect our negative lead to the negative over here. We'll connect the positive. No, this is the positive red, negative black. Connect it over here. And here's the 4 LEDs. I will flip the switch. Yeah, nice and bright. So this is actually 16 volts, so it's probably more brighter than it would be on a vehicle. Your battery, when your car is on, is around 14 volts, and when it's off or not running, it's around 12 volts. But it looks pretty good right now, so we're ready to install this. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and open the hood so that I can remove the cover that's located over here and give us access from behind the grill. I do want to point out this headlight seal that doesn't come with all the Rav4s. I think it's included either in the hybrids or the Japanese models, so when they come overseas they're not exposed to the elements, let's say. But this helps protect the engine from dirt kind of going in there, dirt and dust. Good thing to have. I'll include the part numbers on the website, rav4gen5.com, so go ahead and check that out. If we go inside to open the engine bay, it's the right side. And that's the engine. We need to remove this guy to give us access from behind. And the plan is to install the wires, run it in this direction to my 8-switch box. This I installed in another video. You can check that out. Basically, it provides you 8 accessory ports to do whatever you want: an air compressor, lights, ditch lights, light bars. And then the switch is inside the cabin. It's this 8-button system. It's a pretty neat device. In order to remove this, you'll need a Phillips screwdriver and a 10mm socket wrench. We'll first deal with the socket wrench part first, where you need to remove the hood latch, or at least loosen it so that when this comes off, this is not in the way. So there are 3 screws here, one here, and then one back here behind the spring. So we're just gonna take it off completely. I don't know the foot-pounds or torque level you need to screw it on, so just hand tighten it when you put it back together. And definitely don't want to drop this because there is sort of covers on the floor, and it's not going to go through the car. It's going to go sit on the cover, and then you'll have to remove the cover to get access to this bolt. I know this from experience. So put that aside. And now we're going to go with our flathead screwdriver to sort of pop these clips. My Rav4 has hella horns installed, and I remember I grounded them to this screw here and this screw here. So when I do remove it, I'm going to end up having to put that hella horn back installed as well. I still haven't uploaded that video, but eventually I will get around to it. You can tell I'm not a big on video recording. So you'll need to unscrew these guys as well, and then we can pull this out. So it's the same 10mm socket wrench. It's a long threaded screw, so that's why it takes a while. Okay, so with that gone, what we can do is sort of lift and pull this out of here to make sure right here there's this is where the air intake is to the Rav4, so there's a little grill cover over here so that you don't suck up leaves. From behind the grill you can see the grill, so I will probably place some lights in that open slot just to see what it looks like. We'll take a look from the front and decide how we want to go about installing this. Okay, so here's the 4 lights. I'm gonna go ahead and just like place it and take a look in the front, and then I'll bring the camera around soon in a bit. So I think I have decided I am gonna actually take these 1 shelf lower. So it's I will need to drill into this spot or create a cutout so I can pull it through, and that should be quite in line with the fog light. So the way this is going to work is with these extended pieces on all 4 sides, I will cut into this shelf right here and the shelf up here right in the center, so that when I push it from behind, it should like sit inside the holes on all 4 edges of this. It might wobble a little bit, so I'll probably put some rubber glue on the sides, like silicone or something, so it doesn't rattle. And then over here, I'm just gonna cut out the same size as this so that I can go from the back and push it. And then I will apply some glue over here so that it sticks to the back side of this. The back side of this is flat, so it shouldn't be any issue. So we are committing ourselves to this level right here. This is the level 1, 2, 3, 4, so the 4th one. One over here, one over here, and then same on the other side of this Rav4. So if we look at it a little bit more closer, it's you barely need to cut it just to get it in there, so it should be a simple cut. My plan is to use a Dremel. There's probably better tools out there, but I am your typical Rav4 owner, not a outfitter shop or something, so this is something most people would probably use and can get their hands on. So again, I barely have to, see if I can show you, I barely have to go inside just to get that to fit inside the shelf. So I'm just gonna go inside, drill it. It doesn't, oh, what a cheap shit. So anyways, I was gonna go inside, cut this out over here and over here. The same for the top, but now I need a new piece. Unless I can use this. It's probably not a good idea. Safety first. Okay, I'm gonna try this now. That other thing was just way too fragile and just broke. So maybe this, if I come from an angle like this, I can probably, maybe with a little bit more accuracy, get it right where I want it. I'm way off. I quite frankly don't even know what I was thinking. Should have measured twice, cut once, right? Shit. So that's the plan. Off camera, I'm just gonna fix this up. I'll do this one too, and then I'll start recording again when I drill this piece out, in case you guys might be interested in that. I ran out of daylight yesterday, so I had to stop, and now it rained overnight. Got little wet spots here and there. So I got this installed, and I went ahead and drilled this out just to make sure I know what I'm doing before I start recording myself and making myself look like a fool. That's okay though. It was pretty easy. You just take the Dremel and just cut it out. Obviously it doesn't look too good. There's a mess that I can probably sand down, and once I seal it, it's gonna look okay. So I have this spot to do next, and then we'll see how it looks after it's sealed up and finished. In order to get this to fit, you actually have to cut these clips off the top and the bottom, because it doesn't go in. There's something in the back that prevents it from sliding, and I think it's this top shelf that doesn't allow this to go through, so we have to cut this off. You want this to look like this, kind of shaved off. That only depends on where you're installing it. Of course, it's going to be different for you. Next thing we'll probably do is wire it up, zip tie it in a good area just in case some reason it does pop out after it's all glued and sealed. We don't want it to like fall into the engine or somewhere, or have the wires cut. That's why you want to have a fused wire just in case. And then something I will do on my Instagram account that I barely use, I will take pictures of this installed and lit up in many different locations so that you can just swipe through and see what you like in case you do want to take on this type of project. This is the black silicone that I will use by Weld. It is some very strong stuff. I will use this to apply it behind the lights to create a better waterproof seal. It certainly will help. It can't make it worse. I will also use this to secure the lights into the grill and to hide some of the extra grinding that I did to just make it look like I did a good job, even though it was a mess. On this grill light, I added the silicone to the back side of this so that it makes contact with this surface from behind, and then I kind of sealed the extra grinding that I did over there. So the black silicone that I have does blend really well with this grill cover, or this grill. So from a distance you really can't tell too much. For this Raptor light, I basically applied a bunch of silicone here and here and try to smoothen it out, and then up here you can see I created big holes. I'm putting a bunch of silicone there and then just gonna level it out and build it up so it kind of looks like it's a kind of flush. So nothing too fancy going on. So I got it all siliconed out. Then we're gonna let it dry. This is silicone, so if you don't like it the way you've done it before, you can just peel it off. It's not a permanent type of thing, but it doesn't have to be permanent for this type of project. And then the next thing we're gonna do is connect the wires to the back and then zip tie it along the way to there. If we look from behind, you can see I did zip tie it there. I did not zip tie it at the wire of the harness or of the light. I zip tied it at the hard plastic part so we don't pinch any wires. I did that for all of them. And then we're going to get the kit and connect it and then send the wire around. And that's basically, I would say, the end of the video. Then this is what it looks like from a couple different angles. You don't really see the imperfections of my work. So again, it wouldn't be something I worry too much about. It's the lights that's gonna make it cover all the mistakes. If you watched this far into the video, thank you. Feel free to subscribe. I have a couple more videos coming up, including one where I remove the headliner. and I will install, or I will apply some sound deadening. I will inspect the mechanical work of my sunroof and the seals, and see why a lot of people have water coming out of their A-pillar. And I will also be installing a custom roof rack by Prinsu. Well, it's not custom, it's a Prinsu roof rack. So if you're interested in that, feel free to hang around and subscribe. I fished the wire all the way here, and I figured I might as well just show you how to connect it to the fuse box, just in case you are interested. It's not going to be a professional done. It's just to show you how it looks when it's connected. So this is the added fuse I'm going to do. I have this soldered, so I can't really remove that. I'm going to take both of these blades out of here using what comes with the Toyota. So this one goes in the slot that is closest to the connectors. The direction of the fuse does not matter. The red wire is going to connect to this. I'm going to use this little connector piece that I have. How you connect it will be different than mine. Just check out my other videos, the ditch light or this 8-panel switch install to see how you can do it better. I'm just doing this to show you what can be done. Yes. And then that will connect to this rather poorly, but it's making contact. And that will go in here, just like that. Then my ground cable, which is this guy, I will connect it with one of these, and I'll just put that over there. So insert that there, and then we'll crimp it. Oh, I broke that. But it's still making contact, it's fine. I'm gonna leave this here where it is. I don't think any part of the engine will come into here, and I'm not even gonna turn on the engine. I don't need to. We'll put that. Need to find a grounding point. I didn't want to remove this guy. So we'll just leave it like that. Don't do it like this. This is just to show you that when the car turns on, you get lights. That's a citronella candle, so mosquitoes can't stay away without me spraying myself. What I'm going to do next is press the button twice so it goes into accessory mode. I will not actually turn on the engine, it's not necessary, because we're tapping into the accessory port of the fuse box. So let's see how it looks. And there you have it. I pressed the ignition button twice. If your Rav4 has a key, just turn it all the way up until you start the engine, so without turning on the engine, to turn on accessory mode. And you can see the lights do turn on. So that's what it looks like with the lights sort of placed along with the Toyota logo. It honestly doesn't look that bad. Oh, that doesn't look too bad, honestly. I really like that. So now I have it on the bottom. It's a little bit closer to each other, so if I want to, I will need to take this and put it over there by drilling that out. Let's go and see what this looks like first. Yeah, it definitely needs to be more spaced out. I'm not a big fan of it being so close to each other. I now went ahead and actually went up a level so that I can go into this spot right over here, make it a little more spaced out. This also looks not too bad. So again, check out the Instagram account. I'm gonna have these lights located in many different locations so that you can get some inspiration on how you want to do yours.